Namaskar, namaskar. Welcome to NationNow. I'm Pradeep Nambiar. In every system, there is a conflict between abiding law and arbitrary power. The test for every democracy, it stands or it falls according to its own choice, whether to give supremacy to the law or to the will of the people, whether to constitute a moral association maintained by duty or a physical one kept together by force. We are talking about things happening in Mumbai. We have with us our guest, Godrey Pimenta from Watchdog Foundation. Welcome to the show, Godrey Pimenta.
Thank you, Pradeep.
We are trying to discuss today why is this happening. Now you got a church that is St. Peter's Church, that is age-old church, and you got continuous notices every five years. You say the BMC issues a notice that there's a road widening and the burial ground will have to go. Godrey Pimenta, what do you think? It's politics all over again?
No, we are seeing this definitive pattern in this kind of notices coming time and again. Whenever the elections are round the corner, the authorities under some kind of a political pressure issue notices, and then there is a political intervention, and then the local politician claim that because of them the issue is solved. But that is not the case. This is happening time and again. Now, yesterday we had a massive meeting in St. Peter's Auditorium where more than 1,000 people had attended the meeting. This is with regards to the notice issued by the Joint Municipal Commissioner for acquisition of the part of the Catholic cemetery and part of the Jewish cemetery at Kardeshwari Mandir Road, Bandra West. Now, this road which the corporation is trying to widen already has a development plan road which has been 50% developed. The balance 50% has been encroached by the hutments. Now, instead of, rooming those hutments and giving them, tenements elsewhere, the BMC is trying to disturb the dead people who are, peacefully resting in their final destination. And this kind of notices are totally uncalled for simple reason that recently the Bombay High Court, led by Justice Dipankar Datta, censured the municipal corporation for not making provision for the burial grounds and crematoriums in the city of Mumbai. Today we are seeing a population of about almost 1.5 crore. The city does not have enough the information which we have got under the Right to Information Act shows there is a burial grounds and the crematoriums are lacking. There is not enough space. For instance, a person dies in Andheri East area. The body has to be taken all the way to Sivri. Now, imagine a person coming from a poor background has to spend on the, 2 or 3 buses, hiring buses, plus the time consumed during the traffic hours, 2 hours going, 2 hours coming. This is virtually a torture. For the man is dead and gone, but it is a torture for the family members to, have this kind of a funeral arrangements. The corporation has to be sympathetic in this kind of issues. Today, there was another incident which happened at St. Michael's Church, Mahim, where 18 tombstones have been vandalized by the antisocial elements. Again, this is the handiwork at the instance of the vested interest. And only the minorities, the Catholic minority.
We are connecting, yes.
Systematically being targeted, time and again by the...
Godrey Pimenta, we will first talk about the St. Peter's, the burial ground that the municipal corporation wants to acquire. Now, what you said, can you just give a brief about St. Peter's Church and St. Peter's burial ground adjoining? How old it is, Godrey?
Sir, this cemetery is more than 400 years old. Christianity came to Bandra about more than...
In fact, Godrey Pimenta, you saying 400 years old. Godrey Pimenta, you saying 400 years 400 years old cemetery. That's what we are talking about. And Godfrey Pimenta, 400 years old cemetery, that is what we are talking about. This church is around 400 years old. The cemetery is equally 400 years old. Now, the BMC wants to acquire that. Now, as Godfrey Pimenta from Watchdog Foundation is continuously saying, they are saying that why the shortage of burial grounds? There is a shortage of burial grounds, and when there's shortage of burial grounds, why are we still taking Godfrey Pimenta? You can hear me.
Yes, yes.
400, you're saying 400-year-old cemetery. And why is the government, can you brief us about this this particular church and its burial ground?
See, there are various other roads which are required to be widened. For instance, I'll tell you there are two classic roads which have been neglected for the decades in Mumbai city. One is the SV road starting right from Bandra to Daisar, which widening is required, urgently required. There is a saturation, the traffic is leading to saturation point. And the another road is the LBS Marga from Sion to Mulund. These two roads have been neglected by the Mumbai Municipal Corporation, and they are trying to, target some certain roads for the benefit of the developers, which we condemned. Recently, about a year back, a small road leading in Babanwada Gautan, the heritage bungalows, part of the heritage bungalows were demolished. Hardly that, road which was supposed to be widened will be used only for a benefit of a single building, whereas there is another adjacent gully, which the thousands of residents are staying in that area. That road lane is not being widened. The BMC is acting as a handmaiden of the developers, which we condemned.
Godfrey Pimenta, we want to know some history of this particular church, St. Peter's Church and the burial ground. It was very fascinating, very interesting. You said more than 400 years old. Please just describe about that.
Now, if you happen to see the St. Peter's Church, it has burial ground attached to it. But as the population grew over the centuries, the present cemetery was insufficient, and therefore there is another cemetery which is close to this Bandra Worli ceiling, which is called the St. Francis Assisi Church. In the vicinity of that, there is another city. But it is, the entire administration of this particular cemetery is managed by the St. Peter's Church, Bandra, and current parish priest who is there is Father, Fraser Mascarenes. So he is looking. Now, the notice which was sent, incidentally in this case, was signed by the Joint Municipal Commissioner, whereas yesterday on WhatsApp,
we are losing Mr. Godfrey Pimenta. Yes, he says an age-old church, 400 years old. Yes, Godfrey, can you hear me? Godfrey, we are getting Godfrey on the line.
Yeah.
Godfrey.
Yeah. So the thing is, they have created a legal blunder. The person who issues notice, that is the Joint Municipal Commissioner, he has to take back the notice or withdraw the notice in law. Under the provisions of the General Clauses Act, it is the same authority which has issued the notice has to withdraw the notice. But here the mischief is played. Notice is issued by the Joint Municipal Commissioner. Withdrawal is being done by the Assistant Municipal Commissioner. This withdrawal notice is not served till today. Till the point of, I'm talking just now, it has not been served on the church. This is all the political mischief being paid by the politicians, and we condemn this. And we will agitate on this. We are having a candlelight march on 10th of this month, starting from the St. Peter's Church up to the burial ground.
Godfrey, you still don't believe. You sent me some withdrawal notice. You say that is signed by the Assistant Municipal Commissioner.
That is all eyewash. In law, that notice is neither here nor there. It is only saying that the issue is being kept in temporary abeyance. We don't believe in that kind of notices. If the withdrawal notice has to be unconditional, it cannot impose conditions. That is what we are objecting to.
What are the conditions that you're talking about, Godfrey? What are the conditions?
Conditions that they are saying that when the road widening was proposed, you have not raised objection, blah blah, things like that. So which is totally uncalled for. First of all, the development plan of Mumbai has lapsed in June 2022. This is a legal point of challenge, and I have put at least 5-pager my objection, detailed objection to the government, state government. I have put them on notice. The development plan has lapsed, and this government is not taking action because they are trying to. There is a power shifting, and that's the reason the whole thing fiasco. The development plan has lapsed in the bargain.
Godfrey, now you think that this elections are around the corner and this is a way of pressurizing the Christian population of Mumbai, which is a sizable population where Mumbai is concerned.
Yes,
you say that, yes, every time the elections are declared, this comes.
As a community, we have the ability to make or break 60 candidates in this city.
Okay.
And in this fight, all the minorities are with us. Yesterday, there were the minorities, from the what you call Parsi community, the Muslim community, the Christian community, and the Christians of other denominations were present in large numbers, cutting across all the strata of the society.
Godfrey, another thing has happened today. Early morning, you told us some church in Mahim has been vandalized. Can you give some more information about that particular thing?
Today at about 6 a.m., that is as per the press note received, around 6 p.m., somebody entered the church, sat in the church, in the premises of church, as if he was praying. That has been captured TV footage. Thereafter, the said person goes in the cemetery, but this cannot be a handiwork of a single person because the marble plaques and the tombstones are of such a size that you cannot break those with bare hands. Some kind of a tool or hammers, heavy hammer has been used in the bargain, and this needs to be investigated. This cannot be.
We are trying to get Godfrey on the line. There is some kind of vandalism in the Mahim Church that they talk about, and this is a very serious issue. Godfrey, can you hear me? This is a very serious issue which needs to be investigated. These things happen, as you said, the Christian community and the minorities.
I have written a detailed.
Yes, yes.
Pradeep, I have sent a detailed email to all to the Home Department, to the Chief Minister, to the Chief Secretary, and normally every email which I send to the governmental agencies is answered or reverted back. But sad to say, this email which was sent today morning, till lapse of almost now 8 to 10 hours, there has been no revert. The entire administration is mum on this issue, and I'm saying so because this is a case of intelligence failure. Recently, there have been 2 commissioners which have been appointed by the state government for city of Mumbai. Though there was a commissioner of police, there was no need to appoint another commissioner. Now this has complicated the matter further, and this is a classic case of intelligence failure. And I have also intimated the central agencies about the lapse. This is a serious lapse. Today it was.
Godfrey, can you describe where this has happened? Exactly where has this happened? In which church has it happened?
This has happened in the St. Michael Church, the famous, the Wednesday Novenas, where the Our Lady of Perpetual Succor.
Okay.
Thousands of, lakhs of people visit this during every Wednesdays.
At Mahim?
Yes, at Mahim.
And the police has promised you action. Have they registered the FIR and all the necessary?
They have registered the FIR. They took almost 2 hours to register the FIR. Now, after the FIR, usual mode investigation will be.
Godfrey, this is a very serious thing now. Now you are also saying that this kind of things. Do you feel that the Christian population in Mumbai is feeling slightly threatened? And whenever the elections come, you have these things happening. Now you have the road widening issue at St. Peter's Church, and then you have the Mahim Church being offended. Godfrey, can you hear me? Godfrey.
Yes, I can
Yeah.
hear you.
Now you said one very yes.
This is a systematic pattern where every 3 or 6 months some statue or holy cross is vandalized in the city, because we the East Indians, own the majority of the land in suburbs. During the good old days of plague, lot of holy crosses came to be built on the streets of Mumbai, which are standing till today in some parts. In Bandra, for instance, you'll see 40 such holy crosses alone on streets of Bandra. So this, some kind of acts of vandalism happens every now and then. We have urged the authorities to at least install CCTV cameras in and around. Now, if Siddhivinayak temple can get a boundary wall along with the CCTV footage, why not the institutions and religious structures of the other communities should get equal protection?
No, the Constitution is absolutely clear, Godfrey. Equality before law and equal protection of rights. You want,
yes,
but these things to be implemented in letter and spirit. You find there is a deficit where the government is concerned. We're fulfilling
yes,
the fundamentals of the Constitution in letter and spirit. Godfrey.
Yeah, we get always, kind of a treatment which is totally uncalled for, because we are a silent community, law-abiding community. We have given our sweat, blood to this country in the form of, there are a lot of freedom fighters from the community. We have built the education institution, the hospitality, sector, the healthcare sector, the age-old homes, and so forth. But what are we getting back?
Godfrey, now you talked about a very important thing, that the two commissioners being appointed is probably creating more problems in administration. Now you have been a very great social cause person who's highlighting social causes among the city of Mumbai and outside. Your Watchdog Foundation has been doing great job on this particular thing. Now can you, we'll just digress from the topic about two commissioners. How is it going to help Mumbai, or is it going to add to the confusion?
No, see, what happens, the principle of, I'll tell you, respondent superior. If you have two commanders in a ship, the ship will, sail in two different directions. So we need accountability, transparency, and after all, maintenance of law and order. Today, because of this friction in the power tussle, because you don't like somebody, you create two posts. This is happening. Earlier, there was you had one single CM, then suddenly concept of a deputy CM came. Now it is percolated to two commissioners. Tomorrow there will be 4 commissioners.
So it is just adding, you're saying it is going to add to the problem rather than to solve the problem. It's not a solution. It is creating more problems within the police force, and there's going to be a problem within the rank and file.
Mumbai, and then you have multiple agencies created for the infrastructure.
So this is a big problem that we see, Godfrey Pimenta. We would also like to say that this Christian community right now slightly feeling unsafe. They feel worried. They feel this kind of acts where the government wants to acquire their property. Because, Godfrey, when you talk about there's also a redevelopment going on near Kadeshwari Mandir. Kadeshwari Mandir ke bagal mein redevelopment ka ek project bhi chal raha hai. You say there's encroachment of slums from where the roads can be easily taken. The slums could be acquired. But do you feel that the government, the municipal authorities are purposely targeting the church burial grounds so that you say politically the Christian community can influence around 60% of the elections where BMC is concerned, around 60 seats. We're trying to get Godfrey on the line, but this is, now things after things are happening all around some in St. Peter's Church, and then the Mahim Church, incidents one after the other. BMC issuing notice for acquiring the burial grounds, where St. Peter's Church is concerned. And today morning, we have vandalism in the Mahim Church. Now, these things, one after the other, is causing concern among the Christian community. Are the Christian community being pressurized into something? and the local politics being influenced. If Godfrey Pimenta believes that the Christian community can influence around 60 seats in the BMC elections, then it's quite some huge effect. So why does all these things come closer to the elections is a matter of concern. Are we getting Godfrey on the line? Is he there on the line?
Yeah, I'm there. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you, Godfrey. Godfrey, we're worried about this. Whenever the election comes, you have now one after the other, and you have two incidents, St. Peter's Church and Mahim Church. You say 60 seats can be influenced by the Christian community. What's elaborated? And this is all about politics. Everything is in disarray. You are trying to scare a community. And do you think this kind of action by any political party will influence the Christian mind into voting in particular direction?
Yes, I think so. The Christian leadership will have to take a conscious call on this, to whom to support and to whom not, because we know who is on our side and who is on the other side. I don't want to name the parties, but we know who is behind all this. The indications are very clear.
Godfrey, you have been doing a lot of work where the Gautans are concerned. Now,
Yes.
you and Gautans are traditionally where the Christian community, East Indian community resides. Can you give us brief about what is happening in these Gautans, the various issues that you have taken affecting the Gautans of Mumbai?
Gautan, the Gautan people are well connected. We have a lot of groups. There is today the information flies like within few seconds. People are educated. Time to time, the community leaders also keep, the members of the Christian community updated of the events which are happening. We have local meetings. We have a meeting at the larger scales also whenever such issues arise. And there are, even though we have different organizations, but whenever such issues which affect the common interest of the community, all the organizations, work shoulder to shoulder, and that is a good sign. And that example was seen yesterday during the St. Peter's meeting held in their auditorium.
Fantastic, Godfrey. Thanks for being with us. We are going to monitor the situation very closely along with you. And we promise you that we'll be following up with the administration, with the Home Ministry, Devendra Fadnavis is handling. And we'll be in touch with you also to find out day to day what's happening. Now, as you said, there's going to be a big protest that is candle march being organized by your associations because you are not clear whether this order has been withdrawn, where the burial grounds are concerned. There are two issues affected, the burial grounds and second, vandalism in the church. Both require solutions. Godfrey.
Yeah, that's fine because, technically the withdrawal notice has not been withdrawn in that sense. It is only kept in abeyance. So we think that the issue will crop up in near future. So we want a permanent solution, and therefore we have called this march. If the problems are not solved, we may think of some other kind of protest, or there is whatever means are available in the democratic manner.
One final question, Godfrey. Now, you talked about the near Kardeshwari, there are a lot of slums which actually the government can take the roads from. Have you put this proposal? Can you describe that particular aspect? Because that's a very interesting thing that you pointed out, because if a solution is available, why is the government not going for it?
Already in the development plan of 2034, there has already been a 60 feet wide road proposed, not on the side of the cemetery, but adjacent to that, which does not affect either the Jewish cemetery or the Catholic cemetery. The road has that 50% of that road is already developed, 60 feet wide. There is only the balance 50% of the road which is required to be developed. Now there are few hutments there. Now, as per the SRA schemes and other schemes, there are always tenements which come to the share of the Mumbai Municipal Corporation. They are called PAP tenements, Project Affected Person Tenements. Now, all these hutments which are there squatting on this road can be easily accommodated in the PAP tenements. They will also get a permanent roof over the head in a nice locality. So why not develop that? Why disturb the dead? That is the moot question.
Fantastic, Godfrey. Godfrey Pimenta, thanks for giving us the time. It was very interesting talking to you. We are trying to highlight this problem. We will not let this go. We want the government and the authorities and the administration to answer questions. If there is insecurity among this Christian community, then it is the government's job to see that the people feel better, people feel good, people feel that constitutionally protected, the rights given, the guaranteed in the constitutions, equality before the law and equal protection of rights. Thanks, Godfrey. Thanks for being with us. We'll connect with you again.
Thank you, Pradeep.
That was Godfrey Pimenta. That was Godfrey Pimenta, who talked about continuous slight pressure on the Christian element population of the city of Mumbai, where we had point-to-point continuous instances where the BMC issuing notice to acquire an age-old burial ground of St. Peter's Church, and then immediately after that you had vandalism at Mahim Church. Our constitution guarantees the 4 pillars of our constitution. It says, we the people hereby resolve to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, equality, liberty and fraternity. We need to protect the 4 pillars of our constitution in letter and in spirit. We'll keep following up this issue and we'll report to you what happens. Ultimately, justice will prevail. That's all from Pradeep Nambiar. Nation Now. We'll come up with more such interesting facts about Mumbai, Maharashtra and India continuously on our programs on a daily basis. Till then, bye for now.